Okay, I'm back. Let me tweet about this. Where am I here? Okay. Tweeting. Working on getting Nix to build Docker images on macOS. Gonna stream it, I guess. Cool, okay, so let me find my chat window. I've lost that. Okay, what are we gonna do after that? We are going to get Nix building Docker images on Mac. I've gotten this to work. I have gotten it to work, but the problem with building Docker images on Mac is that you need to basically use a virtual machine. And so I've got a virtual machine running, and a lot of people use Docker for it. I've gone a little bit deeper than that. I've gone to the underlying technology called HyperKit, which is a virtualization framework for Mac, which lets you run virtual machines. And so I've been doing that. The problem is it's a little bit hard to configure at the moment. You have to give it an IP address. I think it looks for a DHCP server, which most people don't have running on their laptops. So we'll probably connect to that whatever network they're on, which is a little bit annoying. You don't want that. So I'm going to make it so that it automatically finds an IP address. I'm going to use something called VPN-Kit, which is another thing from Docker. So I'm basically using a lot of underlying technologies from Docker to implement this, so I can build it. So what it's going to do is it's going to be called something called a Nix Remote Builder. And a Nix Remote Builder works by basically running an SSH server with Nix built on top of it. So it'll be Mac running a Linux virtual machine, a lightweight one because I'm using HyperKit, which is very lightweight. So we'll be using a lightweight virtual machine to run a SSH server, which will have Nix available inside of it, and then you can SSH in, like there's something called Nix Remote Builder, which will automatically SSH in and do Nix builds and then copy the results over. So that's how it's going to work. I've gotten that far. It does work. I've gotten it so that it starts up a Linux virtual machine, it gets an IP address, you can SSH in, do Nix build, it copies the results over, so it works. The problem here is that it's a little bit hard to configure. It looks for an IP address using DHCP, which is not something that everyone has running on their laptop. Not everyone has available. You want to be able to run this even when you're offline, so I'm going to make it so that it finds an IP address using something else. So that's the goal. How's it going, everyone? Thanks for saying hi in chat. I'm gonna get started in a few seconds. Let me just bring up my analytics stuff so I know that there's actually that I'm streaming okay. It looks like I am. Cool. Okay. I had a little bit of problem setting up OBS this morning, so I was playing around with it a little bit, but it looks like it's all good now. Okay. So let's go. So there's going to be two parts to it. There's HyperKit, which I've got running. It's a little bit annoying, but I've got it running. Then I'm going to use VPN-Kit. So HyperKit will connect to VPN-Kit, get an IP address from VPN-Kit. Actually, VPN-Kit kind of creates like it's like a local network. So it actually it routes your virtual machine's network into a Unix socket, so then I can use that Unix socket to forward it to my machine. It's a little bit annoying because with VPN-Kit let me run VPN kit so I can show you. So VPN kit, where am I? VPN kit debug. So this last thing is the most interesting part to me. Well, the most annoying part to me actually. So here we go. So you can see the flag I had to supply port equals this thing. So when I run up VPN kit, it's going to create like a, it's going to create a Unix socket here, which my virtual machine will connect to. So it'll connect to that. So that will be like my virtual network. I want to do port forwarding as well though, and so I'm trying to set up port forwarding, and then it has a socket. And if you look up the code, the socket is actually to a Plan 9 file system. So I have to, so the port forwarding is configured using a Plan 9 file system. So I have to kind of create some directories and some files inside of that to configure port forwarding. So there's no configuration file for VPN kit, which is annoying. There's no command line flag to set up port forwarding. It's a file system that I have to connect to using a Plan 9 client, create some files in the file system, and then hopefully port forwarding will work. If I understand how VPN kit is working properly, which I probably don't know how VPN kit works very well. Like I know that when I start up the server, I can connect to it, and it gives me a virtual IP address. So let me do that. I've got a script here. Here we go. Nix HyperKit builder. Yeah, so I've got this here. So I've configured it to connect to my VPN kit that's running. So if I run it. Yeah, the 9p. Yeah, exactly. So it's like a Plan 9 file system. So I'm trying to use a Haskell. I found a Haskell library called 9p, which will go through and serialize Plan 9 messages to binaries. So then I can send messages to it. So I actually was connecting to the Plan 9 ports thing, so I was actually connected to it, but I just don't know how to send the right Plan 9 messages to mount it or to it. I think the command is called attach, so I have to attach to it. So what this has done, I've just started up the virtual machine. This got printed out to my VPN kit logs, and it should say, you know, it's allocated basically an IP address. So now that I've got an IP address inside the server. Should be an IP address here somewhere. Well, I think I've got an IP address. I don't actually see one, but I've got the MAC address here. I think my client has got a virtual IP address, but there's no, like, I mean, I'm just using a wallboard from work, which is a little bit annoying, but hopefully the team doesn't know that I'm using it, but hopefully they won't notice. But yeah, it doesn't create like any device in the network. Like it doesn't create any device because this VPN kit just runs without any sudo permissions or anything. I don't think it needs to be privileged or anything. It just starts up like a virtual device on that Unix socket. So maybe VPN kit isn't the way to go. If I need it to port forward, but what I don't think I understand is how the port forwarding works. Like VPN kit has port forwarding, but what's it port forwarding from and to? I don't really understand that. So I tried looking through the VPN kit source code to figure out what to attach to, because I need to figure out what to attach to. It's got this thing called attachments. So I need to figure out how to attach to it so I can list what's in there, and then I can play around with the ports. But I don't have a good Plan 9 client. There's not many on Mac. I had to package one in Nix. Where am I? Oh, there we go. So I packaged one and it was called Diode. There we go, Diode. So I can run Diode. It's a massive hack, and it's like it was some random person's fork from 4 years ago or so. So I can run diode, and I actually had that running as a server at some point, which was pretty useful. Yeah, so I just can't connect to it using diode. I think diode, the client, is mostly for connecting to diode servers, so I don't think it really supports daily plan 9 stuff, which is a bit annoying. So then I was trying, there's plan 9 port, but I have no idea how to use this. I've tried it so many times, I have no idea how this plan 9 port thing works. I just want to list something, that's all I want to do, and I can't figure out how to do that with this. So there's this plan 9 port, which I had to also modify to get it to provide more packages than what it did. On Mac, it only provided a couple of binaries because the build inputs wasn't configured properly, so I fixed that up. And so now I've got more binaries than what I used to, but I still don't have what I need. Yeah, the goal of this is to, so I do have, spinning up the virtual machine. I have that, I can run this script and it spins up a virtual machine, so I can run this script here. So Nix Hyperkit Builder, and spins it up. I've got it so that it, this is the version I've modified just now to use Hyperkit. The version before this, the unmodified version, the one that I've got in my branch, uses DHCP to allocate an IP address, and then it spits out a heap of environment variables, which I can show you over here somewhere. So I'll show you the script that I've got. Which one is it? This one. So at the bottom here, it spits out a heap of environment variables. It says exports this, this, and this. And this is how Nix finds this is how Nix finds what they call remote builders. And remote builders are usually remote systems, but you know, we're using it for a virtual machine that we're running. So this works. What you have to do is you run this script. It creates an IP address using DHCP, which not everyone has, but it works on in the office where this machine is. So it gets an IP address, and then it spits out these environment variables. If you export them and then you do a Nix build, it actually works. So I've gotten that far. What I'm trying to do now is to do the automation. So I'm trying to make it so that it'll spin up the virtual machine, it'll automatically spit out these things, and it'll do the IP address allocation. So basically I'm trying to make it more self-contained. Yeah, exactly. You already do. Yeah, exactly. You're doing the Docker virtual machine. Yeah, to spin up. So you're doing this stuff manually. I'm trying to make this automatic, and I'm trying to get it packaged inside of Nix packages. So you should be able to just do a nix-env-i Nix Hyperkit Builder, run Nix Hyperkit Builder once. It'll start it up, and then you can. Yeah, basically I'm trying to automate everything away. I'm doing this because production Atlassian Marketplace is now using Docker, and so my team uses Docker. I'm on the SRE team of Atlassian Marketplace, and so we use Docker. I mean, so we use Nix for everything. There's 2 of us that use NixOS to build Docker images using Nix, and we've just shipped that to production. But there's our team lead also uses Mac, and then we have a feature team, and they all use Mac. So I'm trying to make it so that it's not just myself and Richard Wallace that can build production systems locally. I mean, we don't do that anyway. We've got build servers that do it and everything. So I mean, most of the team can just use the build servers, but I'm trying to make it so that if you want to reproduce exactly what production has locally, you can. I'm trying to make that so that's possible on Mac and easy, because a lot of the other team doesn't have a lot of experience with Nix. So I basically want it so that you can install 2 things and you can go. Okay, so 9p is the client you should be able to use from P9p. Okay. 9p. So is 9p the binary I should be using? .9p. Where am I? 9p. Is 9p? Oh, I think what happened was there's an impurity in this Mac. You can tell I don't use Mac very much. Okay, so 9p is the binary. So let me delete this and rebuild it because I think there was an impurity in there that screwed me up. Let's rebuild that. There was a thing where it spit out saying I don't have GCC installed, which is weird because we should be using Nix's provided GCC. I think that's just a Nix Darwin thing though. I did the what is the developer command line util thing. So hopefully now it won't spit out anything saying GCC is not available. Also, I'm building this on a Mac Mini from work. Like, I've taken over. Well, I haven't taken it over. There's a wallboard at work that basically just has Chrome in full screen all day, every day, and so I'm just using that in the background, and I've just installed my stuff in there. I mean, it's Nix, so it's all self-contained, which is good. So once I'm done with this, I can just delete 2 directories and I'll be done. But it's a little bit slow, and that's because I've run out of memory. I think there's actually 2 browsers running on this Mac Mini now, so that's a little bit too much for a Mac Mini. What's annoying is that I've got 2 machines at home. I've got two of them right here. I work from home. I've got 2 of them right here. I've got a Mac Mini and I've got a MacBook Air. But they're from 2009, which means they're lacking the CPU instructions that support the virtualization in HyperKit. So I missed out only by a couple of months because it was, I think, early 2010 when they started introducing, well, when they switched over to the CPU that has the instructions. So I've got 2 computers here which are kind of useless to me by a couple of months. Re-nice the Chrome browsers. They probably wouldn't notice, that's probably true actually. Yeah, this is super slow. I mean, you can see that I've got 16 megs, 70 megs memory left. There we go, it's gone. Hang on, was that an error? No, cool. It's actually building this time. I did not see that last time, I think. I think that was the impurity. There was some weird thing around Darwin and Nix where it needed something installed. Okay, cool. So it's actually doing something now. I didn't see this before. So, okay, so if I use 9p, the client, the binary 9p, what do I do? Like, I mean, I think it says you need to attach something. You need to attach, but what do I attach? What's the mount? Because I think you have to attach by name. What's the name of the thing that VPNKit is providing? I've tried looking through the VPNKit source code to try and figure it out, but I can't see any place where they say this is the name of the mount of the attachment that we're going to create. I don't even know what is it a mount point? Is it an attachment? I don't know what that is. I've also, at some point I had some Nix code to package like a Go library or a Go program that had a 9p client in it. Let's try that one. Diode, no. Yes, this is from another thing. So I mentioned Diode before. Diode is a 9p server. So what I had running before, like the Docker team seems to like 9p for everything. So what I had was that I was mounting a 9p. Yes, I was serving up the Macs/Nix store as a 9p mount, which I could then mount from inside of the virtual machine. But then because I had to mount it, well, basically because I was, what was it? When I was doing a Nix build, I had the Mac's Nix store running, and I was building into that. But then I was mounting up a virtual machine and then mounting the Nix store, and basically because 2 things were right into the Nix store at the same time, it was getting corrupt. So sharing a Nix store is not a good thing. I don't recommend that. I mean, maybe it was just the way that I had it shared, but I gave up on this solution, which is a little bit annoying, because then I wouldn't need an IP address. If I did it this way, I wouldn't even need an IP address. I could run the Nix HyperKit builder within a Nix expression, instantiate everything into the Nix store, and then be done. So yeah, a little bit annoying that I couldn't get that to work. Everything started getting corrupt. So I'm going the bit more conservative way, which is to have a remote builder. So it just should SSH into the virtual machine, do the build, and then copy everything over. So there's a couple of annoying things around starting up the virtual machine. At the moment, you have to specify a disk image, and so I think I've got it hard coded to just create a 10 gigabyte disk image, but you should be able to configure that sort of stuff. Like, it's just a little bit, I think I need to make a more interactive script to running this. It should say, how do you want to resolve an IP address? Actually, I should use VPN-Kit. That's what I am trying to do. I'm trying to use VPN-Kit so that you don't have to provide a way to find an IP address. So hopefully I can achieve that. But then it should ask things like, hey, how big do you want the disk? Because the disk impacts like what type of Nix expressions you can build inside of the disk. Like if you've got a 1 gigabyte disk, you might not be able to build certain Docker images. But if you've got like you probably don't want to use 100 gigabytes on your disk just for a virtual machine. So yeah. And then there's also questions around like, do you want it to persist? Like every time you run it, do you care about the persistence around it? What's going to do is copy the results of the build into your Mac's Nix store, which is cool, but it won't copy the dev dependencies over. So persistence can help with caching. If you persist the disk, if you keep it around between builds, that's useful. So I guess it's kind of like a trade-off. Like, do you want to keep 10 gigabytes around of build cache, or do you not? And so I should make a tool or an interface to this that says, do you want, like, that's an option for you? So I'm trying to read through the VPN-Kit code to figure out if I can see anywhere that's doing creating the attachment, or creating the, I don't even know what you call it, the 9p thing, 9p file system. So I see there's a proxy thing, isn't there? There's when you use Docker, it uses a proxy, doesn't it? Slurp proxy. Cool, thanks for that. 9p, P9p's mount. Alright, so let's try that. 9p. 9. I can give it an address. Is that an address? Failed to connect VMnet device. What's that mean? Failed to connect VMnet device. Okay, let's try mounting it then. So I don't think, oh, I use this mount, okay. Mount address. What is this port? No fuse. Can I not do this on a Mac? I can't mount it on a Mac. Serious? Here we go. I had some Go code that there's Go P9P, I've seen that before. I've got no branch, okay, so I'll just... Okay, so let me build this. Sorry, I got someone from work messaging me about Nix. That's a pretty good sign anyway, that we're someone's setting up a new laptop and they're using Nix, so that's good. Okay, so this will take a while. So I packaged this thing a while ago. This is called Go P9P, which also turns out it's written by Docker as well. They had a couple of test commands in here which could, I think, what was it? There's 2 test commands in here which I think will connect. One is a client, one is a server, I think. I think I tried the server out before and the server didn't work very well. So maybe the client will work. I mean, it's written by Docker people, so hopefully they've made a client that works okay with their stuff. I mean, I don't think they've touched it for a while, this library that they use. I don't think they use it anymore. I think they've moved that sort of stuff into OCaml maybe. Hopefully this will give me a useful command. Okay, got it. Okay, I built it. So result in 9ps. What's this? Well, that's the server. Did I only package the server? Damn it. Alright, let me modify that. It's a bit annoying. Okay. So let's package more than just the server. Oh, I didn't actually specify. Oh, here we go, subpackages. Command 9ps. 9ps. I guess PS is P server, 9p server. What's PR? Let's try that. I don't know if it's gonna work, but I don't know much about the Go stuff inside of Nix. I just want to list something in a file system. Like, I mean, it's a virtual file system. I just want to list it. It shouldn't be this hard. It really shouldn't. Can I find package read line? Okay, why can't I find read line? Because it's probably not packaged. Yeah, this is not packaged. I think I ran go to Nix on something. Ah, that's annoying. I must have copied it over from my local system. That's annoying as. Really shouldn't be this hard to list a file system. I have done this before. I have mounted a file system and listed it. What can I do? Wonder if would a Unix socket work across SSHFS? Probably not. Oh, let's give it a go. I don't even know if I've... Yeah, let's give it a go, I guess. Okay. So I'm going to change this to spitting out right there. Oh, actually, that's not what I wanted. I wanted this ports, didn't I? There we go. So I should have a ports file, right? No? Should have created a file. Oh, there we go. Took a while. I mean, I don't know. Does anyone know if SSHFS supports Unix sockets? Like, can I read from a Unix socket after from SSHFS? I have no idea. Yeah, no such device or address. Yeah, that's not going to work, is it? Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Okay. Like, I'm running Linux locally, so I should be able to, like, I mean, Linux has got a built-in 9p server client, I think, so I should be able, yeah, it does, so I should be able to mount that, but yeah, that's not working either. Alright, I guess I'll try packaging this Go thing. Yeah, I'll just try packaging this. Go to Nix or something. I've got Go to Nix there, okay. I don't think, yeah. How do I use this Go to Nix thing? Because both Go and Nix are both amazing. Alright. actually have to build it with Nix, but with Go, do I? Outside of GoPath, it's not, is it? I think I need Go. Oh, I see. You need to. You need to name it after the thing, don't you? I've done this before. Is that what this Go directory is? Yeah, here we go. Here we go, I've got the things here. I'm not looking at Go. What was it called? Go P9P? GitHub. Where's the thing? P9P. Go P9P. So it's. Clone this. Okay, now it's weird that you have to create this directory structure for Go to work. Okay, so export this. Got that, so then I should be able to go get. Do I have to go get? I think you have to go to this directory, like the actual one, the actual file you want to build. Yeah, now this is doing something. I think it's doing something. Alright, so I think it's got dependencies, and if I do a go build, will I have something? Yes, so I've got this command that I can run locally, but it's not built for Mac, so that's what I'm using Nix to try and do. So what do I need to do? Go to Nix save? Is that one? Cool. Now I've got dependencies. And that gives me that read line thing. Okay, so let me copy this over to the wallboard. Please just work. I don't want to screw around with plain 9 anymore. I don't even know, like, I don't even know if VPN Kit's gonna do what I think it does. Like, I think after I do VPN Kit, I mean, I'm gonna have like a virtual device as a Unix socket. Then I'm gonna have to come up with some sort of proxy from that Unix socket. I don't know where to get a proxy from, so this is probably just it could be just a dead end. built something. What did it build? 9p. Ah, cool. Okay. Missing port. Because it only uses TCP. Okay. So I can't connect to a Unix socket. Okay. Alright then. Ah, it can if I prefix it with Unix. Right, Unix. Yeah, Unix. That. Dialing address. Yeah. Proto equals Unix. So yeah, dialing Unix, connection refused. Why is it refused? Why refused? Why are you refusing things? What's it mean to be connection refused? I'm gonna have to do my Haskell code again. That's right, I missed network. I always assume that should be in base for some reason. I'm not sure why it doesn't. I thought it would bring it in. Network dots. And I have to connect. Connection refused. Okay, so it is actually connection refused. Like, so I know that I've had this working before, so why am I getting connection refused now? Why? Oh, because I don't have the... Because this thing's probably not working. My HyperKit virtual machine. I wonder if I need that open. I shouldn't have to. I shouldn't. Oh, because I moved the... Oh, because I moved it when I was testing it. There, okay. There we go, I'm in, so I've got a 9p, okay, so ls. 9p file not found. So this needs, okay, this needs 9p available. Play 9 port. Yep. Wait a minute. Yep, it would help if I didn't move files to the wrong places. I mean, it's lucky that I have some Haskell code that actually works, so I can verify when I've done something silly. Okay, what am I looking for again? So I'm trying to get. So it looks like this needs the P9 port. So if I run this, because it's trying to use a command called 9p, which is not even available. is there. Okay. So let me export that. Would it have failed for the same reason? No, the reason that it was failing was because it can't mount Fuse. It's the way that the plain 9 port works. It seems like it uses Fuse, which isn't available on this Mac. I mean, isn't there like a Mac Fuse thing? I mean, I don't really want to install that on a random wallboard at work, because I've heard that's a little like it's like a kernel extension or something, isn't it? So I don't really want to go that way. It'd be a bit annoying if I demand people have that installed as well when they're trying to do Nix. That was the mount. So what should I have done? The P9P command. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm using. So you're talking about Go P9P or using the plain 9 port? Which one? There is a Mac Fuse. I don't really want to go that way. I don't want to have people install it. So plain 9's been P9P. Okay. So 9P ls. And then the socket, what's this address? Okay, so I can use this directly. Okay, so then I'll do ls broken pipe. Expected attach. Yeah, okay, yeah, so expected attach. So I guess I'm meant to attach it, there's no attach command here. So I think you do have to mount it first, maybe. Does that sound right, Paul? No, I'm gonna try goes one because I've got this command in scope now. Maybe the go one will do the attachment. What's it called again? Oh, dash A is for attaching. Ah, there we go then. 9P. Okay. Attach a file system named a name. Cool. Okay. So I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what name I'll use either, but I'll just try a couple of things. Okay. A root. ls. Expected attach message. Am I doing that in the wrong order? Attach the file system named a name. Expected attach, but there is a. Doesn't this dash A do it? Do the attach? What? It doesn't seem to be doing the attaching. Expected attach. Why can't that find it? file not found. 9p file not found. I just assumed that 9p there was an executable name that I was trying to find and trying to launch. I thought maybe this would supply the right arguments to it, but I guess not. So let's connect to it from here then. Okay, so let's send the version. What have I done here? Oh, I've been put it in the wrong socket. So sending that back, and I should be able to. Okay, so I've gotten back the version. Okay, so I'm communicating to it from Haskell. So I'm just going to send the attach and see what happens. I mean, this is pretty annoying to me. Let's send. Put the message, which is TT attach, I think it is. I don't know what the -1 really says, but we'll figure it out. Okay, so what's the body of this? It's very untyped, this API, but we'll go with it. I just want to see what happens when I'm trying to attach something. I just want, like, really all I want is like just maybe even an error saying that attachment doesn't exist. That's good enough for now that I can figure out some things. T-attach, and it needs an FID, an AFID, a UNAME, and an A name. I've seen the A name thing around a bit. Let's see what happens. Okay, that attached something. I don't have no idea what it attached, but I've got an attachment, I guess. Whatever an R attaches. Let's look at this ID. Where's the ID? QID. That. Alright. How do I list it? There's a T. There's not even an ls, is there? It's like T directory. It's a direct. Or it's a walk or something, isn't it? Walk. Oh, that's annoying as. I don't know how to. This protocol sucks to work with. Well, I think the attachment might be just named. Let me try a different attachment. Looks like any name is just giving me an attachment, so maybe it's not working. wish there was just a simple way of having a client for 9p, jeez. What else can I do? Like, I don't know. Better client. I do remember I went through, this is a couple months ago, I went through and I packaged a couple of different things like diode. I got that working for 9 port, I got that compiling more binaries. There were some other things that I got doing P9P things. Yeah, so I've got that there. So I've got a Go library that does it. Linux has got a built-in one. Just there's no good one on that. Inferno's meant to have one. I think I tried that. Couldn't get it working. Really annoying that I can't find something. File not found. I wonder how this works. I don't want to have to read this code. Client list, I guess. I mean, does it even attach? Doesn't it need to attach? I think that's how it's meant to work. You meant to attach. Well, there we go. This command by default attaches to /. Yeah. Okay. So it attaches to root. I'm reading the source code for this Go binary. Opens up a session, reads a session, the code directory. Oh, I guess that could be the attachment, is it? File not found. I mean, maybe that's just the name of the error. Where is that coming from? Yeah, errors. Ah, okay, yeah. So it's saying that root is not found because that's what it's trying to use. It's trying to use root. So it's not finding root. Maybe I need to have a thing running, a virtual machine running. Good to go. Connection established, no diagnostics, got an IP address, cool. Yeah. I reckon it's at somewhere else. I think that's what, but then, I need to attach it. Pretty annoying. I don't even think Plain 9 gives you a way of listing what attachments exist, which is kind of the annoying part. So I have no idea what the attachment should be. So I'm reading HyperKit's code to see what it's doing. Because HyperKit needs to connect to the thing as well. So theoretically, HyperKit should know what the attachment is. I think that's how it should work. Yeah, it should connect to the Unix socket. And then what to do with it. I can see some code around like it configures a VPN's kit socket inside of HyperKit. But I can't see it using it. Can't see what it does with it. Okay, HyperKit, VPN kit sock. Yeah, oh, because it calls it with the Virtrio VPN kit. Ah, that's how it works, yeah. Virtrio VPN kit. So I need to find that. There it is. So I'm reading the C code that goes into HyperKit. It used to be called Xhive. I think Xhive is technically separate, but basically it's the successor to Xhive. HyperKit is. Okay, so I'm looking for the socket. Wait, what? I see like a hard-coded path in here, which is var temp. It's weird, I see like a hard-coded path in here. I wonder what that's from. Oh, if it doesn't supply a path, it uses it. Okay. So it connects to the socket. Then what's it do? Writes out the MAC address to a file, which is cool. I might be able to use that. Might want to use that. Connect. VPN kit connect. Okay. VPN kit connect does what? So I'm reading about the VPN socket, but I don't want that. I want the port socket, don't I? The port socket. So let me look at the VPN kit code again. The port socket. This only says CTL. It's opening up CTL. This is weird. So I found a command inside of our VPN kit. It's called VPN kit expose port, which is actually a... I think that might be what I want. I think that might be it. I wonder if I can package that, how easy it would be to package that. Maybe not so easy since it uses a camel VPN kit does. But if I had that command, I could just run that. I wonder what VPN kit does as well if I try and port forward to a device it doesn't have access to, I guess. Let's see what I can do. Okay, that looks good. Okay. Is it timed out or something? What's it called? Hopefully this compiles. It's annoying. Oh, because I used SSH repository. Okay. Is that the problem? That I used a SSH repository? It's not sending credentials, so I must have used a SSH. Must be the problem. Let's do that one then. Where is that though? Where is the reference to SSH? Fetch from GitHub, is it? Why is it using Git? There's nothing even... That doesn't make sense to me. Why is there nothing in... It's not self-contained. Yeah, that's the problem there. Okay. I'll run GoToMix again. That's better. I mean, it's not gotten the dependencies though, it's lying I think about the dependencies. Unless it is self-contained. Maybe it is. We'll see. What's it import? It imports VPN kit / something. Oh, maybe it is. Maybe it is self-contained. No, undefined. Why is it undefined? Probably because some dependencies not there. I've got one that runs on Linux, but I can't package it for. GoToNix doesn't work for building this. My version of GoToNix is probably a bit old. Maybe that's the problem. Let's see what's the difference between my version and this. Not much. Not much. That's annoying. Guess I'll just have to build it. Yeah, I think it does use Go P9P. Yeah, I think it does. Which is okay. I think it's okay. So I'm gonna try to do a go fetch of VPN kit. Is it go fetch? Go, what's the to get dependencies? Like I just did inside the window. Go get. Do a go get. VPN. I'm just gonna build it because I can't package it right now. So I'm just gonna see if this is even gonna be useful. Export go path equals here go get. Go get what I want. Is that how it works? You can say go get VPN kit. I don't know if that works. No. Alright, now hopefully I can use Go. I can build Go code on this. Hopefully I can. Go command, I want the VPN, I want list ports. Let's start by listing ports. Go get. Hopefully this will get all the dependencies that for some reason aren't being found when I do a GoToNix. Cool, I've got a binary. Okay, so I've got a binary that hopefully I can do. What can I do? Path to the control socket. The control socket. Do I want the control socket? Is this the control socket? Is that an argument? Dash VPN kit. Okay, that did something. Listed no ports, so there's probably no. Okay, there's no ports. Okay, that's fine. VPN kit expose. Oh, there's a folder as well. I might need that. So let's expose port. Okay, it's 9p file not found. Alright, hopefully port is not What's the arguments? Okay, default TCP, that's fine. Host port, let's forward SSH to that. Host IP, I don't know. I'll come back to that. Container port 22. Port is not proto IP port. Okay, because I got something else in there. Okay, host IP, what's the IP of this thing? Is it that? Is that the one? Probably. Hopefully, that's the right card. Host, was it host IP? Okay, and then I'm going to say, what's the container's IP address? I don't know. You came up with it, didn't you, VPN kit? Didn't you know what the IP is? I know the MAC address. Does it not have an IP address? I don't know. Container IP is... I'll make one up. Succeeded. Okay. Now what's it doing? It's just hanging there. And it's not listing anything. What did it do then? Did it do anything? I just got given access to a different Mac if I need access to that. Cool. Okay, why isn't listing ports is not showing anything? I'm just trying out in another window. I'm just trying out to SSH into this other laptop that someone's giving me access to. I wonder what's going on here. Like I'm running a command expose ports. It hangs. I don't know why it's hanging. It says succeeds and then it hangs. I don't know what that hang is about. And then listing says nothing. What does that mean? Okay. There's not much interesting in the come on, does that work? There's not anything interesting in the debug log, so I don't know what's going on there. I don't know. What's it doing? What's this folder thing? I think I'm gonna want this folder thing, I think. Ah, that's where I was hitting problems. The folder doesn't work. So the folder doesn't compile. What's the error? Proxy doesn't have vsoc address. Alright, thanks Go. That's dependency management in Go. try the exposed ports again, I guess. It's probably that I just made up the IP address. I mean, that's probably... That's probably it, but what I assumed is that oh, do I have to do another go get in there? Oh, triple dots. Triple dots. So that is not doing anything. Lib proxy. Yeah, there's a problem with lib proxy. No spaces. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think it's gotten the dependencies. It's just the dependencies are bad. Just they don't compile together, which sucks. I mean, isn't that the whole thing? Like they vendor all the packages, all the things together. So I mean, this is all committed into the repository, right? Like, but then I don't understand Go dependencies very much. Looks like it's all basically one thing. They've like committed the dependencies. That's really annoying. Should I try it at the root of VPN key? I'll do that. Let me go. Yeah. I mean, the dependencies are there. It's just wrong. It's just not a good dependency. Like they're here under vendor, I think. Yeah, vendor, GitHub. It's Linux kit. This thing is bad. It just doesn't like that. It's probably just outdated. I wonder if maybe I should just go to a different revision of this. Yeah, let's do that. Do they ever release VPN kit? Fix the release package build 26 days ago. I don't know about that. I'm going to go back in time a bit. Let's go back a while. No. Remove non-bridge mode. Non-bridge has been disabled by default for several releases and enabled both stable. Slurp, I don't know, when's it good? They don't have many tags, I don't think. I think those are, yeah, they're just from this month, last month. I don't know, let's go back to, yeah, when they've originally added it, maybe. Let's do that. We'll do a go get here, which hopefully should get the dependencies that it needs. okay, yeah, because you need to specify command or something, right? VPN expose port. I want the forwarder, don't I? VPN kit forwarder. Go get. Hopefully I chose a random commit that works. And then we'll see. Super frustrating just to compile a Go program. Oh, this is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, okay, those commands don't even exist in this version. Why? I mean, what else can I do? I mean, HyperKit needs something to connect to. There's a couple of different ways to run HyperKit. But the way that that seems designed to do is that it connects to VPN kit now. That's what it does, it connects to VPN kit. There are other networks that it can connect to, but then you need to configure your network yourself. I don't want people to have a DHCP server running locally, that's just ridiculous, I'm not doing that. What are the networks it has? VMNet, TAP, and VPN kit. Problem with VMNet is I can do VMNet. Yeah, thanks for looking at the Idris videos. I'm pretty happy with them. I need to make some more, I think. I was doing some Idris the other night. Someone asked on Stack Overflow, like, how do you prove how do you write the type of a prime number? So I ported some of Daniel Peebles' code over from Agda into Idris, and that was pretty cool. I like doing that. I should do some more videos like that. That's pretty fun. What is it? A prime number is something like is only divisible by itself or by 1, and so you can actually express that as a type as what is it? Because you got dependent types, you can actually lift the term, so you can lift 1 and itself, and so you can say either x equals 1, and then on the right hand side you've got x equals x, yeah, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool way of writing prime numbers. So I am looking at what other options HyperKit has for networking, and it has VMNet, which I've been using up until now. VMNet, which just goes on to network, and it looks up a DHCP, connects using DHCP to get an IP address, and then it creates a virtual device, and then yeah, connects to it basically. So that I have been using, and one of the problems is that you need a DHCP server, which sucks. And the second problem is that if you want to expose to port 22, which I do want to expose port 22 because that's SSH, and you don't really have much control over what SSH options you provide to what Nick's remote building. You don't have much control over what options get passed to the SSH command. So I can't say pass in P and then specify a port. I don't really have much control over that. So what I could do is like get the user to add something into their .sh/config so that it specifies the port. But that sucks as well. I don't want people to have to override their SSH config just to use this. And I don't want people to have to use sudo either. So that's kind of like why I was starting to use VPN kit. Because VPN kit is meant to be a way of doing non-privileged stuff. I mean, you would have to have privileges for the forwarder, I think, because you forward from... You'd have HyperKit connect to VPN kit, then you'd have to have like a proxy or a forwarder from VPN kit. And I mean, the forwarder can run as using as privileged, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with requiring people to do that. So you've got one thing running privileged, which is the forwarder. I have no problem with that. And then it should just work. I mean, if only I could figure out how to do port forwarding with VPN kit. That's the only blocker here. can't figure out how to get port forwarding happening. I mean, I guess the other problem is that I'm not actually resolving an IP address. I mean, I guess maybe I could just put a static IP address. Maybe that's the solution. A static IP address to the client. I mean, I guess that's it, because that's how HyperKit works. It doesn't actually do, it doesn't actually have like a idea about IP addresses or anything. It's just providing a device. So I mean, if I provide it, you know, some random IP address, I should be able to use that. Like it's a completely private thing, because only VPN-Kit can talk to it, because you're exposing the port on the host, right? I think that's how VPN-Kit works, but who knows? There's also tap. You can have a tap device. I don't think I've ever used a tap device before. If you know anything about tap devices, that could be useful. Yeah, I don't know. VPN-Kit expose port. VPN-Kit expose port. I've done that and it just hangs. That thing sucks. That can go away. And I can't even compile the thing. Seriously, can't even compile it. Can't compile part of it. Alright, thanks Paul. Thanks for your help. You've been pretty useful. Thank you. And thanks for looking at my address videos. I'll try and get some, hopefully I'll try and make another one or so. I've got some ideas for one. Alright, catch up. What a bother. Undefined. To that key. What am I doing? I'm trying to figure out why HP cell won't compile, but is this even... Try again. Oh no, did someone disconnect me? Someone's probably restarted the wall because it's slow. Probably been kicked off, damn it. That's annoying. No, we're back in. Cool. Okay. Back in. No sessions. Yeah, someone restarted it. Okay, that's alright. Whatever. Okay, let's try again. Probably should let the people know that I am using this. Source. Let's talk about vendor. Where's vendor coming from? Run and go get even makes this not work. I need to export that. On the vendor. Like, you think if the dependencies were vended, they'd work, you know? Like, what's going on? Well, let's assume this one works, because that's when someone did it. So someone vended it at this point in time, so it should work. That's the theory. I'm on a version. Find it. Do I have to like clone it? I have no idea. Clean that. We'll go back and we'll get it. Please work. Come on. Download the right thing. Why not? Doing things over SSH, come on. Can't find it. Why can't you find it? person change their name? Is that why Go can't find it? Because the person changed their username on GitHub. Please don't tell me that's why. That could be why. Why can't I download it? They've deleted at this point. Yeah, they've deleted. Good. So let's go to that. Let's go to before that. Now this should be go. Okay. Now this is the right. Oh, this is so bad. This is so ridiculous. So useless. Can't find proxy lit proxy, okay. Go on, get out. Go on, get out. Go on, get out of here. Yeah, that's a cat. Being annoying. I wanted to get out, but then it's too afraid to go out. It's a feral cat that I adopted. Well, I caught it. I'm on 35 acres, so I've got a lot of property around here, and it's a feral cat that I've trapped because there was a couple of feral cats hanging around. So I trapped it, and now it's a not so feral cat. It's a little bit less feral, but it's still pretty scared. Still pretty scared of things. So I open up the door, and it doesn't want to listen to me. So I'm having a lot of trouble building VPN kit. The name of the cat is Olive. Olive the cat. How do people write Go? How do they do this? How do they do this? Oh, so useless. I can't build something from a couple of months ago, like seriously. Hang on, there's something about proxy. What's that saying? Add vendoring, but then there's something about proxy. They add vendoring and it doesn't work. The one other dependency that's outside of that repository doesn't have the dependency they need. Doesn't have the file they need. Proxy, libproxy. Why can't I find proxy? Where is that even needed? Package, libproxy, proxy. Wasn't it around the other way? Proxy, libproxy, and I see proxy. Proxy, libproxy, but I see proxy, libproxy, proxy. Do they make a typo? Where am I? What am I doing? Is there only one command here? No buildable Go source files there. Why not? Why can't you build those Go source files? Oh, because it's Linux. Useless. Master doesn't do any better, like. What's the problem? There's no vsock adder. Vsock adder. I don't even know. Oh, there we go. Vsock adder. When's the last time this was touched? June 8th. June 8th of this year though. June 30th. June 8th. Yeah, they changed their usernames. Yeah, okay. Thank you. I don't know if that is a problem, but if it is, then that sucks. Okay, so I don't know when I should go. I'll go here. Let's go here. Oh, what? Why doesn't this dependency have the thing you need? It should. Oh wait, it's not even using that. It's not even using that anymore. It's using it here. Yeah, but I guess let's. So I've got a dodgy thing that writes out an IP address to here. It's really dodgy, but. Yeah, it's not even resolving an IP address. No, because hyperkit's not right. I mean VPN kit. Yeah, but it won't resolve an IP address anyway. I'm gonna have to make a static IP. Why am I even getting console allocated? HyperKit should have. That's another thing. I have to kill 9 HyperKit for some reason. I don't know what's going on with that. I used to be able to have standard I/O allocated. I don't know what happened to that. introspection argument. So I can't compile VPN kit folder, which is really annoying. I can compile this. And I can list the ports with Unix. What do I have to do? List ports. You have to do basically that, don't I? No, VPN kit. Not that, right? Yeah, because that's the wrong thing. And then I've got expose port, which I've been able to compile as well. But that's super hard to use. What do we have to do? VPN kit. Got the protocol. Host IP is, I don't know, whatever my IP is. Host port, I want to host it on an unprivileged port for now. But then how does the folder work? That's how VPN kit works. I read some of the documentation on it, and it does say that if you want to expose a port, you have to create a file in that, something like that. There's a port forwarding section in the documentation, and it says signaling to the VM from the VM to the host. So you ls/port. That's what you get. I mean, I'm reading the documentation, they have a thing that says ls/port, but yeah, it's not doing anything here. ls/port. Connected. ls/port. Nothing, file not found. And that connects, but I see nothing else in the debug log. There's gotta be a better log than that. Okay, well. Diagnostics. Introspection. So I've got a couple of things, so. Why is there no introspection? Why is there no... Oh, I guess it's probably only when one connects. When the virtual machine connects. Yeah, there we go. Pretty cool. Oh, it's got ports. I'm actually getting somewhere. Ports is empty. Alright. Ports is empty, so I can't do anything with that. I mean, these plain 9 things may as well be useless to me. I mean, they are useless to me. Like, I can't do a single thing with them. Alright then, catch you later. Thanks for watching. I'll keep trying to figure out Go stuff. Oh, this sucks. on, what are you doing? Oh, it is running. So I'm just reading documentation and VPN kit, and it's super annoying. I'm just showing someone at work how to import a version of Nix, a specific version. Where have I got this code? Really cool, I think. Actually, it's in. What is that? We've got some code that. Which allows us to import a specific version of Nix packages using fetch table, which is a more useful way of importing things. There's Nix reasons for you to use fetch table to fetch Nix packages. So I'm going to read about tap devices. Wonder if that's a way to use it instead of using VPN kit. Or is it VMnet tap? What is it? Vert.io tap. Let's try that. What does this do? So run this. What does a tunnel device do? I mean, it can be used as a tunnel device, I don't think. Well, probably have. Because it's got something to do with VPN, right? think there's something I meant to supply here to get it to give me a console properly. Build support, I think it's the virtual machine stuff. Console, there we go, I think that's what I meant to do. I think having that. No, that's not it. Could have got that. What did I used to have on it? I used to have something that provided me with a terminal. Oh, I think I needed this, maybe. There we go. What's the problem? Knit RD too large to handle. Don't think I've seen that before. Alright. Yeah, I might be running out of memory. That's probably it, isn't it? That's probably it. Alright. I might need to access that laptop they've set up for me. Work set up a laptop for me, which is awesome. I just need to be able to log into it. I'm having some problems at the moment. Like one annoying thing about Macs is that when the screensaver turns on, it usually turns off SSH. So I think that's what's happened. Someone's left the Let the screen go off. Now SSH. I can't SSH in. I mean, I couldn't anyway because I've lost the well, I don't know the password. Trying to see if I've got it in one of our password manager things. Come on. Okay, oh, this is super annoying. I can't do VPN kit because I can't figure it out. I can't even build it. Like, that's the ridiculous thing. I can't even build the thing. VirtIO's VSOC. What is vert.io? VSOC. I'm gonna file an issue saying I can't build thing. I mean, what was the problem with building VPN kit? So annoying. I mean, they're probably saying that I'm not doing it right. When I file an issue saying that I can't build this thing, they'll probably say that, oh, you shouldn't use that anymore. I imagine that's what they're going to say. Now I'm reading Linux kit source code. See if it does anything with VPN kit. Hang on, wait, what? Well, I don't think I can do too much at the moment because it's not even starting because I don't think I've got enough memory on this Mac Mini that I've taken over. Yeah, I've got no memory, which is pretty annoying. Let me see if I've got anything that I've left open by accident. Don't think so. Yeah, no, that's my stuff. Yeah, and I can't get any response from anyone in San Francisco to give me access to the laptop they set up for me. So I think I'm pretty much done. I can't really do anything else. I just don't have enough memory. I mean, this has only got 4 gigs on it, and there's only 300 megs left. And so when I go to start this up, I think it's just allocating too much memory. Although I think that's configurable. Let me try that real quick. Memory. Let's just give it a little. I don't think it's going to work though. It's going to say don't have enough memory. Let's give it a really little amount. Yeah, it's just too low. think that's all I can do right now. I'm gonna have to wait for someone else to give me access to a laptop that's got more memory than what this does. That sucks, but that's what I'm gonna have to wait for. Thanks for watching. My goal really is just to get VPN kit compiled and providing forwarding. I need to mount the file system. What I realized is that there is a way to mount 9p things using HyperKit, so maybe I should use that next. Actually, I forgot that I could actually do that. Maybe that'll work, I'm not sure. No, that's a way of... Yeah, no, that's a different thing. That's a way of providing a local directory over 9p. Alright, well, I don't know how to mount a 9p thing on Mac. I don't know, like the VPN kit's got the code for it, but I just can't get that to run. I just can't even get it to compile, which sucks. So I'm kind of stuck, I guess. I'll have a look at it some more, but I'm gonna have to read a little bit, I think. All right. Yeah. Thanks for watching.